And the timing has to do with the state that our economy is currently in. In 1952, a recession resulted from the Federal Reserve restricting flow of money to curb inflation. Unemployment was at 6.1%, and the GDP decline was at 2.6%. And some very major things happened in terms of the adoption of project management practices at that time. Actually, the foundation was laid for modern project management right after 1952. DuPont introduced the critical path method, and the Navy introduced the program review evaluation technique, and the Department of Defense used modern project management techniques on the Polaris missile project end to end. And so at this point, we see project management become a discipline in and of itself. So if we move forward to 1969, there was a recession that coincided with an attempt to start closing the budget deficits of the Vietnam War. Unemployment was at 6.1%, and the GDP decline was at 0.6%. So do you know what happened then? And this is an event that was near and dear to most of our hearts. The Project Management Institute was founded. So now if we move forward again to 1982, we had the worst recession up until this point that resulted from tightening monetary policy to curb inflation, and then also to deal with the issues caused by the OPEC oil embargoes. Unemployment was at 10.8%, and the GDP decline was at 2.7%. And so shortly after this, the first project management body of knowledge was produced as a white paper and began to be used as a baseline for managing projects. So you see the tie between a difficult economy and then organizations looking for ways to get more out of the workers that they have. So now if we move forward to 2001 and the recession that resulted from the dot-com bubble popping and the September 11th attacks, unemployment was 6.3 and the GDP decline was 0.3. And so after this, something even more near and dear occurred. The project management professional certification was introduced, and the number of certificate holders began to skyrocket almost immediately. In 2002, there were 50,000. In 2004, 100,000. 2006, 200,000. 2008, 300,000. 2009, we are approaching 370,000. So what you see is a doubling of the number of certificate holders from year to year. In what was taking before was 2 years' time is now taking 1 year. So now we move to today, 2009. Poor lending practices resulted in the collapse of the U.S. mortgage market with major impacts on the auto and financial industries. The unemployment is at 10.2% and GDP decline is 3.9%. Now, if you are good with math, you probably noticed that these two figures are the worst of any of those put together before. So what I would like to show is that there is a strong correlation between troubled economies and the adoption of project management practices as companies look to attain higher productivity with less resources. So hopefully this is starting to sound like a very worthwhile cause to you. So you're asking yourself, well, what do I need to start doing a little bit differently to lead this charge? What do you need me to do? And so with any revolution, there are key principles that need to be asserted. And the old principles that served so well for so long just give out, and then key principles have to be asserted. So what I'm going to talk to you today is about a strategic plan and then the key principles in support of that strategic plan to allow you to start to view your project management job as a calling and a cause that is connected to a social justice that will also help you secure your financial security. So I've covered motivation, I've covered timing. I believe that no time has been greater in history for project managers to step up and present themselves as a solution. Now I do want to say in terms of timing, I do know that projects are being cut, and as a result it is more difficult for project managers to find work. However, at the same time you can also see corporations embracing project management practices, project management certification, so they are doing more with less resources, and the people that are able to successfully do that are being able to be rewarded as a result of that. So we've covered motivation, we've covered timing, and now we're going to talk about this specific plan.